Regret is one of the most powerful emotions that individuals encounter in old age. As people grow older, they often find themselves reflecting on their lives, looking back at the choices they made, the opportunities they missed, the paths they didn't take, and the words they left unsaid. The weight of these memories can be heavy and difficult to bear. The process of aging naturally brings more time for introspection, and in that introspection, regrets may surface with alarming clarity. This psychological phenomenon affects millions of elderly individuals across the world, and it is essential to understand it deeply in order to find healthy and constructive ways to deal with it. In old age, people may regret things they did or things they failed to do. They might look back and wish they had spent more time with family, pursued their passions, or taken more risks when they were younger. For some, regret stems from poor relationships or estrangement from loved ones. For others, it could be related to a career they were unhappy with or chances they didn't take that could have changed the course of their lives. These thoughts, if left unchecked, can cause emotional distress, anxiety, and even depression in old age. The feeling of helplessness often compounds the issue, as the opportunities to reverse or rectify those choices seem limited or non-existent. However, it's important to remember that while the past cannot be changed, one's response to it can. Acceptance plays a critical role in overcoming regret. Acceptance does not mean resignation. Rather, it means acknowledging what has happened, understanding it, and choosing to move forward with a new mindset. It involves forgiving oneself, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, and realizing that no life is free of missteps. Every individual has a unique journey, shaped by circumstances, knowledge, values, and beliefs at the time decisions were made. It's also crucial to understand the role of perception in regret. Often, people remember events with a bias. They might exaggerate the negative consequences or romanticize the roads not taken. Human memory is not perfect, and over time, it can distort events. By recognizing this bias, older adults can begin to challenge their regrets and view them with a more balanced and compassionate perspective. Another important strategy in dealing with regret is reframing. Reframing involves changing the way one looks at a situation. For example, instead of thinking, "I should have spent more time with my children," one might say, "I did what I could at the time, and now I can still build meaningful moments with them." Reframing helps individuals shift their focus from what's lost to what's still possible. Old age can still offer numerous opportunities for growth, connection, and contribution. Furthermore, sharing regrets with others can be incredibly healing. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, a family member, or a counselor, verbalizing thoughts and feelings can reduce the burden and help one feel understood. It opens up a space for empathy, support, and sometimes even surprising revelations. Others may have similar regrets, and mutual understanding can foster deep bonds. In many cultures, storytelling is a powerful way for older adults to make peace with their past. By sharing life stories, they pass on wisdom, values, and experiences to the younger generation. This process can help transform regret into a sense of purpose and legacy. It reminds them that even their mistakes have value if others can learn from them. Another way to combat regret in old age is to remain engaged in the present. Practicing mindfulness can help individuals focus on the current moment rather than dwelling on the past. Mindfulness involves being aware of one's thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. By doing so, people can reduce rumination and learn to experience joy and peace in the here and now. Also, acts of kindness and service can have a therapeutic effect. Volunteering, mentoring, or simply helping others can instill a sense of purpose and value. When elderly individuals invest their time and energy in making a positive difference, it shifts the focus from past mistakes to current impact. It creates a forward-looking mindset that can diminish the intensity of regret. Physical health also plays a role in mental well-being. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, sufficient sleep, and medical care can improve mood, boost self-esteem, and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. A healthy body supports a healthy mind, making it easier to manage negative emotions like regret. Additionally, spirituality or religious faith can provide comfort and context. Many people find solace in beliefs that emphasize forgiveness, redemption, and the idea that everything happens for a reason. Prayer, meditation, reading scripture, or attending religious services can foster inner peace and help individuals come to terms with their past. It's also helpful to set new goals, even in old age. These goals don't have to be grand. They could be as simple as learning a new skill, reconnecting with someone, or traveling to a place they've always wanted to visit. Setting and achieving small goals fosters a sense of accomplishment and helps redirect mental energy towards the future rather than the past. Another essential aspect is self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding that one would offer a friend. It involves recognizing that suffering and regret are part of the shared human experience. Self-critical thoughts can be deeply damaging, while compassionate thoughts foster healing. Writing can also be an effective tool. Journaling about past experiences, emotions, and regrets can help process and release them. Some individuals write letters to their younger selves or to those they may have hurt, even if they don't send them. This act of expression provides clarity and closure. Moreover, seeking professional help should never be seen as a weakness. Therapists, especially those trained in geriatric psychology, can guide older adults through the emotional landscape of regret. They offer tools and techniques to reframe thinking, manage emotions, and create a meaningful narrative of life. It is never too late to seek peace. Furthermore, connecting with nature can be grounding. Walking in a park, gardening, or simply observing birds and trees can provide a sense of perspective. Nature reminds us of cycles, resilience, and the possibility of renewal. It nurtures the spirit and calms the mind. Regret, while painful, can also be a catalyst for positive change. It highlights what matters most and urges us to align our lives with those values. By facing regret head-on, rather than avoiding it, we can extract valuable lessons and become wiser, more compassionate individuals. It's important to note that societal narratives about aging often contribute to feelings of regret. Media and culture sometimes portray old age as a time of decline rather than as a time of reflection and richness. Changing this narrative starts with individuals recognizing and celebrating their own worth. Elders have immense value. They are keepers of history, reservoirs of wisdom, and examples of resilience. Relationships are a central area where regret often arises. Some regret not mending broken ties or not expressing love enough. But it is never too late to reach out. A phone call, a message, or a simple gesture of reconciliation can bring immense relief. Even if the other person is no longer alive, writing to them or performing a symbolic act can help achieve emotional closure. Ultimately, the goal is not to erase regret completely. That may not be possible. The goal is to live with regret in a way that is healthy and manageable. It's about integrating those experiences into the story of one's life and moving forward with acceptance and hope. As people age, they gain a unique vantage point, a long view of life that includes both joy and sorrow, success and failure. This perspective allows them to offer guidance and wisdom that can only come from lived experience. By embracing their whole story, not just the parts they're proud of, older adults can find dignity, meaning, and peace in their later years. As individuals continue to age and move further into their later years, the landscape of regret evolves. It is not static. Rather, it shifts and morphs, sometimes deepening, sometimes softening, depending on numerous factors such as health, relationships, socioeconomic conditions, and most importantly, the mindset cultivated over time. While some regrets may have lingered for decades, others may emerge only recently as changes in circumstances bring new clarity. At this stage of life, when physical strength begins to wane and external achievements take a back seat, internal reflection becomes more dominant. People may find themselves wondering if they lived a life aligned with their true values. Did they follow their heart? Did they prioritize what truly mattered? These questions, though sometimes painful, are part of a profound existential journey that can lead to wisdom and emotional growth. However, if these reflections spiral into persistent rumination, they can become toxic. It's crucial, therefore, to adopt strategies that allow for a healthy engagement with the past. One of the foundational principles in navigating late-life regret is the cultivation of gratitude. Gratitude acts as a powerful counterbalance to regret. While regret focuses on what is lacking or lost, gratitude emphasizes what remains and what has been. By intentionally acknowledging the blessings of the present moment, be it the companionship of a pet, the warmth of sunlight, or the memory of a cherished experience, older adults can shift their emotional center of gravity from despair to appreciation. Gratitude journals, where individuals write down 3 things they're thankful for each day, have been shown to significantly improve mental well-being. Another key concept is the recognition of life's inherent complexity. No decision is ever made in isolation. Each choice is influenced by a matrix of social, economic, emotional, and cultural factors. What may seem like a poor decision in hindsight was likely the best possible decision at the time, given the information and circumstances available. By embracing this truth, individuals can begin to forgive themselves for not being omniscient. Forgiveness, in fact, is one of the most liberating gifts one can offer oneself. Holding on to guilt or shame not only corrodes the spirit but also hampers the ability to engage fully with the present. Whether the regret is about something done or left undone, forgiveness allows the heart to soften, and this softening opens the door to healing. Sometimes, people fear that forgiving themselves means excusing bad behavior. But forgiveness is not about denying wrongdoing. It is about recognizing it, taking responsibility, and then choosing not to let it define the rest of one's life. For many, religious or spiritual frameworks can support this process. The concept of divine forgiveness, of being loved unconditionally despite flaws and failures, can provide immense comfort. Another dimension of regret in old age relates to identity. People may struggle with a sense of lost potential, regretting that they didn't become who they thought they would be. Perhaps they wanted to be an artist, a teacher, a traveler, a parent, or a community leader. The unfulfilled versions of oneself can haunt the imagination. To deal with this, it is helpful to remember that identity is multifaceted. One's essence is not confined to job titles, accolades, or specific roles. Every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every relationship nurtured, contributes to the tapestry of who someone is. Moreover, it's never too late to explore suppressed aspects of identity. An elderly person who always wanted to write can start a journal or blog. One who wished to mentor can find joy in guiding younger people. These may not be grand gestures, but they are meaningful ones, and they help reclaim lost parts of the self. In addressing regret, it's also crucial to examine the difference between regrets of action and regrets of inaction. Studies have shown that people are more likely to regret what they didn't do rather than what they did. This is because missed opportunities linger in the imagination with endless what-ifs. While one cannot go back in time to seize those missed chances, one can cultivate a proactive approach moving forward. Taking small, intentional steps, whether it's expressing a long-held sentiment, learning a new skill, or reconnecting with someone, can help ease the sting of past inaction. The concept of legacy also becomes increasingly important in this phase of life. People want to know that their life mattered, that they contributed something of value. Regret can cloud this sense of meaning, making individuals feel like their life was a series of missteps. However, legacy is not measured solely by success or failure. It is defined by impact, a gentle word that changed someone's day, a decision that quietly shaped a family's future, a value passed down to grandchildren. All these are legacies. Taking time to reflect on these contributions and perhaps documenting them in letters, recordings, or memoirs can reinforce a sense of worth. Moreover, supporting others, especially younger generations, in avoiding similar regrets can be deeply fulfilling. Sharing hard-earned lessons, being open about past mistakes, and offering guidance from a place of humility can create intergenerational bridges and transform personal regrets into communal wisdom. Sometimes, regret is tied not just to personal choices but to larger historical or cultural forces. A person may regret not standing up against injustice, not pursuing education due to societal constraints, or not being true to their identity because of prevailing norms. These types of regrets are complex and may carry elements of grief, anger, or helplessness. In such cases, engaging in activism, advocacy, or simply bearing witness to truth can be healing. It reaffirms that even though the past cannot be rewritten, the present can be lived with integrity. Physical illness or disability can also amplify feelings of regret, especially when they limit independence or prevent one from doing things once taken for granted. There can be a temptation to dwell on how life might have been different with better health or more resources. While these feelings are valid, it's important to balance them with self-compassion and realistic expectations. Adaptive strategies, assistive technologies, and supportive communities can help individuals focus on what is still possible rather than on what has been lost. It's also vital to recognize that aging does not mean becoming obsolete. The modern world sometimes marginalizes older adults, valuing youth and productivity over experience and reflection. This cultural narrative can exacerbate feelings of regret by implying that opportunities for contribution are over. In truth, older adults are uniquely positioned to offer mentorship, emotional depth, and long-term perspective. Their experiences, including their regrets, enrich their wisdom. By claiming their voice and place in society, they challenge the myth of irrelevance. In dealing with regret, some find solace in philosophy. Stoicism, for instance, teaches that while we cannot control events, we can control our responses. It encourages individuals to focus on virtue, wisdom, courage, and justice. Buddhism offers the concept of impermanence, that all things, including suffering and regret, are transient. These philosophical frameworks provide a lens through which to view regret not as a curse, but as a natural part of the human experience. Additionally, humor can be a surprisingly powerful tool. Being able to laugh at oneself and life's absurdities fosters resilience. It lightens the emotional load and reminds us not to take our past too seriously. Sharing funny stories about mistakes made or dreams gone awry can turn regret into connection. It builds camaraderie and shows that imperfection is universal. It's also worth mentioning the importance of routine and structure. In the absence of professional responsibilities or active parenting roles, days can blur together, and this lack of structure can lead to excessive rumination. Having a daily routine, waking up at a regular time, engaging in meaningful activity, setting small goals, provides purpose and reduces mental drift into regret. Creative expression is another avenue for healing. Painting, music, dance, or crafting allow emotions to be processed nonverbally. These activities can be especially therapeutic when words fail. They connect individuals to their inner child, spark joy, and serve as outlets for self-discovery. In the realm of relationships, one of the most painful regrets is estrangement. Whether due to conflict, misunderstanding, or time, losing connection with loved ones weighs heavily on the heart. Reconciliation, while not always possible, is often worth pursuing. It requires courage, humility, and sometimes professional mediation, but even a single step toward reconnection can bring immense relief. In cases where reconciliation isn't possible, finding symbolic ways to honor the relationship, through rituals, letters, or acts of service, can provide closure. Pet companionship has also proven to be remarkably effective in alleviating regret and loneliness in older adults. The unconditional love of a pet offers comfort, routine, and a sense of being needed. Animals live in the moment and teach their human companions to do the same. Lastly, we must not underestimate the power of community. Isolation is a breeding ground for regret, while connection is its antidote. Whether through neighborhood groups, religious communities, hobby circles, or digital forums, being part of something larger than oneself reduces the tendency to ruminate. Sharing meals, stories, and laughter reminds individuals that they are not alone, that their presence matters. To those navigating the difficult terrain of regret in old age, it's important to remember this: you are more than the sum of your mistakes. Your life, with all its twists and turns, is a unique story that cannot be replicated. Regret may be a chapter, but it is not the whole book. Even now, you have the power to write new pages, to touch lives, to find meaning. The sunset years of life are not just about decline. They are also about distillation, clarity, and legacy. They are a chance to live with intention, love with fullness, and forgive with grace. So take a deep breath. Look at the past not with bitterness, but with the wisdom that only time can offer, and walk forward, even if slowly, knowing that peace is still possible.